Agarwala also joining us, Head of Research and Investments at Invest4Edu. Aditya, how are you looking at markets first off? Secondly, your picks very quickly.
Morning, Harsh. Thanks for coming on the
Good
show.
morning.
It's more of a consolidation both on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty that we're witnessing. I don't see too much of a downside on the Nifty. On the downside, 25,600 is a very good support area. On the upside, 25,900, 26,000 remains a major hurdle. So my sense is markets will continue to remain in a narrow range, at least for today, because it's just the last trading session of the week. Same holds true for Bank Nifty as well. On the upside, can test levels of 60,000, slightly better off as compared to Nifty. On the downside, 59,300 to about 59,200 is a good support area for the Bank Nifty. Moving on to the stock picks, I've got a couple of buy recommendations. The first one is Navin Chlorine. Stock looks interesting on the chart setup after a bit of a correction. Stock is now up and away. So for a target of 6,400, I recommend a buy here with a stop loss at 5,900 on the downside. The second stock is from the banking space. Axis Bank is looking interesting for a target of 1375 with a stop loss at 1275 on the downside.
Okay, the other one is Morgan Stanley, which has cut the target price on a Cipla from 1,396 to 1,292. Revlimid phase out, as well as lanreotide supply disruption likely to result in a weak Q4 FY26 is what they're penciling in. Cipla's lanreotide currently has a 22% market share. They're trimming earnings estimates by 2% for FY26, 1% for FY27. Target price being reduced by 7%. They remain underweight with regard to Cipla. Cipla on charts, Kunal?
It's not done much. And I think many of the pharma stocks have just been lying low for themselves. Nothing major in terms of the queue for pharma stocks. These stocks have been just about grinding. Cipla also, I think, at 1400-ish kind of a zone, 1400, 1500 has been the range for the stock in the last 5-6 months. And the tough part is that even in the phase when the markets were very volatile, and you expect that the pharma and the FMCG, which are considered to be the defensive sectors, they tend to outperform. Even in that phase, we've not seen the pharma stocks performing, anything. I think you look at Cipla, you look at Sun Pharma, these stocks have corrected by, I think, 8% to 10% broadly from their previous swing highs, but no major signs of recovery.
Okay, counting down to the market open, let's just check in on Infosys. I think that's where we'll first gaze on whether or not it makes up for the IT weakness that we saw after TCS's earnings or not. And then, of course, just so many earnings to really look out for, and newsmakers as well. But yeah, first up, Infosys, given that the constant currency revenue growth came in at about 0.6%, versus estimates of a flat growth. So I think the markets should like that. And then, of course, there are so many other stocks which are in focus this morning. Angel One, a very strong operational quarter for them. For Prestige, the Q3 pre-sales have seen an uptick of about almost 39%. Collections have risen about almost 40%. 361 WAM as well, wherein the profit has seen an uptick of 20%. Revenue has risen about 33%. So all those stocks will be in focus this morning. There you go, the Nifty just mildly tempered in trade, or in the green rather, 67 odd points higher. Infosys, that's gapped up about almost 4% right now. It's counting on to that gain. Reliance as well actually has started off in the green ahead of its numbers, and Infy's cheer seems to be rubbing off on the rest of the technology basket as well. Look at it, TCS, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, all these stocks have held up quite nicely in the green. So seems that the leader today is definitely going to be IT. I don't know whether this trade is going to get sold into or not, but at least to start off with, there is definitely some amount of cheer. What about Realty? Godrej Properties, after the sales numbers, the 9-month sales numbers have seen an uptick of about 25%, collection uptick of 19%. For Prestige as well, the Q3 pre-sales have been quite handsome. And then, of course, a couple of these capital market plays, Angel One, 361, ICICI Pru AMC, excellent quarter for all of those. Angel has gapped up 5.25%, 361 again, 5.5% uptick there too. And ICICI Pru AMC as well, a nice hefty move this morning, a solid 4% of a jump up coming in there. OMCs, there's been a sharp fall in crude prices. Brent is back below $64 to a barrel. And remember, even on Wednesday, most of these OMCs held out quite okay. So HP, BP, IOC, and that trade clearly is continuing right now as well. I want to check in on Sun Pharma. They've announced the US availability of a carcinoma treatment. So look out for what that stock as well is going to be doing in trade. Couple of order wins for a Transrail lighting, about 527 odd crore rupees. That's the order. For Kernex Micro as well, they've bagged a Kavach order worth about 2,466 odd crore rupees. Wari Renewable, the numbers came out, decent set. EBITDA, margins, all of them have seen an expansion. Indian Hotels, they're looking to buy a 51% stake in Bridge Hospitality with 22% hotels and 11 operational for about 225 odd crore rupees. And Zydus Life, which has finally got the US FDA okay for a $1,263 million blood disorder drug. So that's the other stock which is also going to be in focus. LTTS, a miss on earnings. HDFC Life, the new business premium, has also managed to miss estimates. For Kolte Patil, the Q3 sales value is down 11%. HDB Financial credit cost is still higher for them. Sterling and Wilson as well. The EBITDA has seen a downtick of about 79%. So most of these stocks are in focus as we speak this morning. And then, of course, there's BHEL as well. They've started supply of underslung traction transformers rather for Vande Bharat sleepers. So some of these names we're keeping on our radars this morning. And then there's Cipla. They've announced a temporary supply pause following the US FDA audit of its partner facility. Cipla is down about 3.5% as we speak. For the index, though, is flat as flat can be. Not seeing any move at all, though I want to check in on the metal names, whether the momentum from Wednesday is continuing at all or not. Tata Steel, Nalco, Vedanta, these were the ones which were flaring up on Wednesday. And most of these names are still, latching on to the green at least. Though the PSBs as well held out very smartly. Union Bank, Bank of India, Indian Bank, that was the mega trade on Wednesday. And some of these names are still seeing green. SBI also holding up about almost 0.5%. So very bifurcated, very, sector-specific kind of a move in the markets today, while the index, Kunal, is flat as flat can be, really.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And we've back again to that midpoint pivot range of 25,750 for the index. The premiums have also dropped down. I think from 110-15 points, we've come down to 70-75 points premium for the index. The only change which has happened is that the India VIX has moved up hard. So from a 9.5, 10, we've almost had 11.5 odd for the India VIX. So that's the only change which has happened over here. But I think net, we are still in no consolidation phase. In terms of opening trade, I would look at NTPC as one of the stock which looks extremely attractive at current level.
Okay, that's NTPC, of course. This was a big winner in Wednesday's session and today as well. That's Kunal's top buy call. Aditya, how are you reading into the opening moves and any stocks that look good for trade?
Morning, Aisha. It's not a bad opening, I would say, for the markets, gradually inching back to the high point of the day. My sense is 25,600 will act as a key support area, and we could be in for a surprise by a maybe 100, 150 point kind of an up move on the Nifty. Looking at trade ideas, CDSN is something which is looking interesting because the entire capital market space is doing well. So CDSN is something that I'm looking at for a target of 1550 on the upside. The stop loss at 1400 on the downside. This can be a good trade to take.
Okay, here's market veteran